Yo people, welcome back to another video. Now this time I'm going to be giving you my SummerSlam predictions for the first ever two-night SummerSlam. There is a lot of things that is wrong with these matches, with the card in general, and as we saw in WWE Unreal, Triple H and his team are in charge of all this creative stuff, just as a lot of us thought, which this proves all the fanboys that claim TKO has a say in the creative and everything. No, this is all on Triple H. So if they keep failing like they've been doing this year, Triple H and his team, it's time to go. But anyways, let's start with Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. And this match is everything that's wrong with WWE's booking and Triple H right now. We've seen this match already at Night of Champions, where they're not even champions and they're getting put on that card. There's no hype for this feud that warrants another match. We even saw this match on Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago, and now for the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, we're getting this dry match yet again, and it's supposed to be some sort of trilogy, some sort of feud ender. No one cares. And I'll tell you why this is everything that's wrong with WWE. So you had Jey Uso as the World Heavyweight Champion. This made Sami Zayn's whole story interesting and relevant and main event level, because they were teasing a heel turn from him, and that could influence Jey Uso, that could have some sort of say on the World Heavyweight Championship. Then they add all the stuff about, oh, will he become a main eventer? Will he ever win one of the main event titles? And he was closing in on being, like I said, solidifying his status as a main eventer on Raw, and then out of nowhere, this whole story has just become, oh yeah, just fight Karrion Kross because he said you might turn heel. A guy who is getting no TV time before this feud is now being made to occupy Sami Zayn. What's the point? And by the way, this is a guy that cannot say he's not being given opportunities now. He has, and he's stiff in the ring, he's garbage in the ring. He cannot do anything if it's not complaining in promos. And at one point, he was one of the highest merch sellers, and people hyped all of that statistics and all of these things as to why he should be getting a push. The bigger picture is that the company is so fried right now that a jobber like Karrion Kross can just become one of the highest merch sellers that quickly for a few weeks. Why is everyone else not selling merch? Because their stories are all dry, because the creative team is garbage. Anyways, as for this match, I think Sami Zayn wins, and anything less than that makes him a joke, unless he turns heel, but even then, this story has dragged on for too long. Sami Zayn, he's getting demoted for this boring feud. It's the reason why WWE just forgets about him, the WWE fans forget about him, and people never get to see if he truly will ever win the main event title, because whenever he gets momentum, they kill it off and they forget about him. Up next is the amazing tag team match that everyone, I'm sure, is waiting for, and it's Randy Orton and Jelly Roll, the music artist, versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. Another match that shows how bad of a state WWE is in. Randy Orton, who is retiring in the near future, is having to waste his last few golden opportunities at the big pay-per-views in a useless match with Jelly Roll, especially with how he had nothing to do at WrestleMania 41. You'd think they'd actually set him up for something decent at least for this SummerSlam, but no, a pointless match with a celebrity. Drew McIntyre, another wrestler that deserves so much more, but Triple H keeps burying him and is wasting his time. What does Drew McIntyre gain from this match? Nothing. He carries the whole of 2024, and this is his treatment, losing to Damian Priest, getting jobbed out every other day in 2025. It just doesn't make sense. Logan Paul, I think, this is a good match for him. But then to be including Jelly Roll into this whole thing is stupid. Just like how they added Travis Scott into the main event picture for John Cena's heel turn, and now apparently Travis Scott had a falling out with WWE and he's not coming back. So overall, everything with Travis Scott was wasted. Now, let's bear in mind, we have no Bayley on any of these two nights. Another wrestler that got fucked over at WrestleMania 41, and she gets nothing for SummerSlam. We got no LA Knight, no Penta, no Damian Priest, no Aleister Black, who they've been forcing onto us on SmackDown. No Rusev, who they've been forcing onto us on Raw. We don't even get to see Ron Killings, who was one of the most hyped people at Money in the Bank in June-July period. None of him at SummerSlam, but instead we get to see Jelly Roll. Like I said, this is one aspect that is killing WWE. This eagerness for clicks and for viral moments, it's cringe. And Cardi B, I don't know if she's still hosting this show, but she stinks as well. What the company should be worried about is making the talents actually improve on a weekly basis, make good matches, book good matches, have people improve their good promo skills, and maybe they'd go more viral consistently. Anyways, as for this match, it's pretty obvious. Randy Orton's going to win. Jelly Roll, he'll probably do the finisher and get the pin. I don't really care, but that's just what's going to happen. Next is the 6-team TLC match for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles. Now, this match feels like a copy and paste of that TLC match that we got earlier on in the year that I think the Street Profits ended up winning, except this time there's more teams. So again, WWE is really struggling to make stuff interesting, so they're recycling matches and match types that they've already done. They change a few things and they sell it off as a brand new product, which is something that we're going to keep seeing across this card. Don't worry, I'll point it out for you. Anyways, I personally don't buy this whole Wyatt 6 hype. I don't really care for them, but I can also say the same about all the tag teams that are here. I think the Street Profits are good, but they got given nothing to do when they had the belts, and I think Montez Ford would be a great solo superstar, so who knows what's going to happen with him in the near future. Based off of hype, I can see Andrade and Phoenix winning this tag team title, but there's just so many messes regardless of who wins that what's even the point of any of this? Will this match be good? Absolutely. I'm not saying any of these matches are going to be trash, by the way. I think they will be good, maybe not the Jelly Roll one, but anyways, I do think this will be a good match, but in terms of this division and everything, it does nothing. It has no real importance, just like most of these other divisions. The wrestlers can't storytell. Nothing's really advancing with the plots, with the storylines. Nothing that actually means anything is happening. But for my prediction, I do want to see Andrade and Phoenix win it, so that's going to be my prediction. Let's move on to Lara Valkyria versus Becky Lynch, and again, a match that has been copy and pasted from Money in the Bank. And not only that, we've seen these two wrestling in the ring in general in many different formats. Triple threats, tag teams, one-on-ones, all of that stuff, different stipulations and everything since April. So basically 5 months of the same 2 or 3 people in and around the Intercontinental title. It's getting boring, and now they're doing the stipulation if Lara Valkyria loses, then she can't challenge for the Intercontinental title anymore. And I think Lara will actually lose this, but the way I'd do it is I'd like to see Bayley attack Lara, cost her the match, and turn heel on Lara Valkyria because she wasn't able to get onto the SummerSlam card because of Lara. Now this would set up a feud between Lara Valkyria and Bayley while allowing Becky Lynch to move forwards, move on from this whole feud, and hopefully push the Intercontinental title onto new levels. Next up is Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Again, we're wasting time with Roman Reigns' star power, the amount of time that he has left. We're doing a tag team match that doesn't really benefit anyone apart from Braun Breaker if he does win. And even if he does win, it feels forced because he's not ready yet. He's not that guy yet. As much as they'll try to keep pushing the PR and everything, he is not ready. He cannot cut a promo to save his life. He cannot do any storytelling to save his life. He's just that quick gimmicky guy that you go out there, do some spears, do that neck twitch thing that you do, and people will start barking. That's all he's there for right now. Do I think he can improve? Absolutely. By the way, everyone that I critique on this is because I know they can do more, but they're not doing more because Triple H has all of them complacent. But yeah, this actually benefits no one. I think Bronson Reed will be the one that gets pinned. I do think Roman and Jey will win this, but it's kind of like a what's the point type of match. So yeah, I don't know. We're wasting all of these guys. They should be doing a lot more with what they have. But it is what it is. It's not my booking. Next is Roxan Perez and Raquel Rodriguez versus Charlotte and Alexa Bliss for the tag team titles. Now, Charlotte and Alexa have actually been gaining some good momentum on SmackDown, so I wouldn't be surprised if they won. But that wouldn't be a good look for the Judgment Day. Raquel was actually building some really good momentum by herself since Liv Morgan got injured, and it's all been wasted because she got made to lose to Rhea Ripley, and she loses every other week in tag team matches or just gets made to look stupid. Roxanne as well, she's not been living up to the hype that she's had from NXT. She gets pinned most weeks, loses most weeks. It's just very uninspiring booking, and it's insane how most, if not all of these belts just feel so meaningless. We even have the women's US title not even defended on this PLE, and it's a 2-night PLE. Unless they force something now on Friday Night SmackDown, which at this point would be pointless, I don't see what's the point. And again, all the titles just feel meaningless. But as for this match, I think Charlotte and Alexa will win this match, and this loss will start to create cracks for the Judgment Day heading into Dominic Mysterio's match, which we'll move on to next. So Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title, and yet another championship and another champion that has been wasted by the company, and they haven't made the most after he got that insane pop at WrestleMania 41. The creative and Triple H and everyone that is involved, they need to be fired, because the way they're killing all the potential and the momentum that they get right in front of them, it's looking like a lifetime ban from ever being creative ever again. Anyways, I personally would love to see AJ Styles and Dominic on the same team at some point. I know it's very, very unrealistic, but my dream scenario, and I've been saying this for a couple of months now, would be to have AJ Styles form some new faction with Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez. But we know that's not going to happen. As for what I do think will happen, I think AJ Styles will win this championship as the Judgment Day turns on Raquel and Dominic Mysterio. The tag team loss, like I mentioned just before this match, might cause a split between Roxan and Raquel. Since they don't have the belts, they don't technically owe each other any loyalty, so that goes straight in the bin. And maybe Finn Balor is the one that cost Dominic Mysterio directly, and I don't know, maybe AJ Styles forms a new Bullet Club with Finn, Jade, and Roxanne Perez. I think that would still be pretty cool to see, but I do like the AJ and Dominic dynamic that they have. But yeah, like I said, very unrealistic. As for this match, AJ Styles will probably win in my opinion. Moving on, we have Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu in a steel cage match, and this is one of the few feuds that is actually relevant and deserves a rematch or a repeat. Like I said, a lot of the card has just been repeat for the sake of it. We've seen it 3-4 times, no one cares. This one, it actually deserves it, and they've given us the steel cage match stipulation. As for the outcome, I don't really mind who wins this, because they've both been carrying SmackDown on their backs. They're both really over right now. They're at the top of their game currently. So I'm honestly happy with either of them winning. I have a feeling Jacob will win just to keep this feud going, and I do think we'll see the return of Tama Tonga as he helps Jacob Fatu alongside Jimmy Uso from Solo and all the shenanigans that usually happens with his whole team. So yeah, overall Jacob Fatu will win this. Next up is Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. Again, another match that involves Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, and once again another title match that involves Rhea Ripley. I'm pretty sure, someone can go check this and let me know in the comments if they want to, I'm pretty sure Rhea Ripley has been involved in every single title match for the World Heavyweight Championship this year, but no one calls it out. It's cool, it's whatever. Check out my video down below in the description if you think Rhea Ripley is overpowered and overpushed. I have a whole video for you. I call her the female big dog Roman Reigns. But yeah, we'll leave that at that. As for this prediction, I think Naomi wins this, because if not, her cash-in was basically pointless. And they've also been doing some little promo teasing between Stephanie Valkyia and Naomi on Raw, so I reckon that is the match that we'll get at Clash in Paris. Now for the Men's World Heavyweight Championship, we have CM Punk versus Gunther, and to be honest, Gunther is so boring now. He's a great wrestler. Again, a lot of these guys that I'm criticizing, they are good in ring, but they don't have that it factor. They haven't improved on it. They don't get given the chance to improve on it, and it's all the small details that make up the real superstar and then people that have what it takes to be the main event. Gunther, for me, I'm so sorry, but he does not have it. Hopefully CM Punk wins this. I do think CM Punk will win this, so yeah, like I said, hopefully it happens. We can inject some new life into this World Heavyweight Championship and just be done with Gunther holding the Heavyweight Championship. Next is the WWE Women's Championship, and we have Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. I think the build up for this has been pretty boring, pretty lackluster if I'm being honest. Tiffany's reign has been insanely overrated as well. She still can't cut promos, she still can't do in-ring storytelling, and we can't blame her. She barely wrestles relevant stuff. She never gets given the opportunity to actually do stuff. And as we saw in WWE Inside, when the pressure is on, she folds. She does the whole, oh Charlotte, how's your marriage? How's your wedding life going? All of that stuff makes it insanely personal and unprofessional. So yes, she's someone that just based off of that incident should have lost the title. And on top of all of that, her matches, by the way, she's still stiff in some moments. She still has some botches, and she's going up against someone who is kind of the same. Jade Cargill, she's presented very well to us. She has insane potential, but her matches as well, they have a lot of stiff moments, some botches here and there. She still can't cut good promos with storytelling elements. So I think both of them are kind of at similar points in their careers in terms of they're nearly there, but do they genuinely deserve to be the WWE Women's Champion? I don't think so. I think there's other wrestlers that deserve it more, but it is what it is. And as for my prediction, I think Jade Cargill will win this just to freshen things up in the division. Last but not least is Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE Championship in a street fight, and a copy and paste match of what we saw for the main event of WrestleMania 41. But to be fair with this one, it's a genuine rematch that needed to happen. Now, like I said, it's a street fight, so we already know there's going to be a bunch of interferences. It's not going to be difficult to make this match better than the WrestleMania 41 version that we saw, because that was an absolute disgrace to the just main event scenes in general. So I do think this match will deliver. People are saying Cody Rhodes will turn heel, Cena will turn face. I have a very Seth Rollins inspired Copium storyline that involves The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody, Cena, Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman. So stay tuned for that video, which will be coming out tomorrow. I do think Cena stays heel and he wins, he retains the title, but Seth Rollins is still thrown in the picture. But yeah, as always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know your predictions for this SummerSlam first ever 2-night PLE. Let me know what other content you'd like to see going forwards on the channel as well. I'd really appreciate it. If you could also leave a like and a sub on the channel, more content is on the way. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.